Biafran lobbyists have been extremely effective over probably 20 years, working through the religious right in the US, which brings together a lot of these evangelical groups, and they're big financiers of the Republican Party. And as the Republican Party has moved to the right, so have they. And they've become a big mobilizer of votes for the Republican parties. So there are people who are evangelical Christians who may not like the look of Donald Trump and his various comments about women and all the rest of it, but they bury that concern for their the greater good, which they say is the man is for Christians, he's for evangelical Christians, and in that case we're going to give him our support. So Trump, the evangelical base is absolutely critical for Trump, and that's, I think, it accounts for some of the success of the Biafra lobby in the US.
Well, that's a very illuminating assessment from you. And in that context, Patrick, I mean, is there a risk that fringe or poorly sourced claims could begin to shape US foreign policy towards Nigeria? So Nigeria's internal security crisis is no longer just a domestic issue. It's become a high-stakes battle for influence in Washington, according to the UK-based Africa Confidential, a respected newsletter that's built a global reputation for original reporting and analysis of key political and security developments across Africa. As competing narratives over violence and claims of a Christian genocide gain traction in the US, the Nigerian government and Biafran secessionist groups are now locked in an aggressive lobbying war, each seeking the attention and support of President Trump. According to Africa Confidential, alarmed by President Trump's threat last November to go into Nigeria guns a-blazing, the Tinubu administration has moved quickly to counter separatist claims, signing a multi-million-dollar lobbying contract with a Republican-linked firm to shape U.S. policy on visas, military cooperation, trade, and religious freedom. The scale of Abuja's effort far outweighs that of the pro-Biafra groups, who are also lobbying Washington, pushing for sanctions, diplomatic recognition, and even future military and oil agreements. So what's really at stake in this foreign lobbying battle, and how could it shape Nigeria's security, sovereignty, and international standing? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now on the line from London by Patrick Smith, Editor-in-Chief of Africa Confidential, and he's also Editor-in-Chief of the Africa Report, a monthly African politics and business magazine. Patrick, thank you very much indeed for joining us. You're a very busy man, so we appreciate your taking the time to talk to us, and a very happy new year to you. And your reporting suggests Nigeria's security crisis is now being fought not just at home, but in Washington. I mean, how unusual is it for an internal African security issue to escalate to this level of what I might call U.S. lobbying warfare?
Yeah, greetings, Charles, and Happy New Year to you and all your viewers. It's actually par for the course within the American system. The lobbying issue, the lobbying operations in the U.S. are very much part of the political bargaining system there. You know, for example, I can give you the case of a senior State Department official who was backing the UNITA separatist movement in Angola under Jonas Savimbi. If you remember, way back in the 1980s, the CIA was backing Jonas Savimbi. Then the MPLA won the elections in 1992. This guy left the State Department, set up a lobbying firm, and then started backing the MPLA. And he was paid $1 million a year to run a website for the MPLA, and that's often the case. And I think the problem with this lobbying business is it's a sort of privatization of diplomacy. and it downgrades the real decision makers and the state, and it downgrades accountability. And I think that came out very strongly when US President Trump made his threats about going into Nigeria guns a-blazing, and suddenly the government in Abuja had to react really quickly, appoint ambassadors, not just to the US and the UK, but several other countries, and then start this kind of negotiation with the US officials.
So, I mean, I lost you there for a minute, but what specifically triggered this?
And educate them the more about what they need to know about Nigeria, so that when it's time to strike and take decisive measures against them, they will know what exactly to do to them. So we appreciate all the efforts that have been making that. Support the town hall, support our end of the year annual report.
minute silence to honor our fallen heroes and heroines. The time starts now. We continue to honor our fallen heroes and heroines, and we will never forget about them. They will continue to fight until Biafra is restored. He said, he said, he said.
If you are joining us, please share it and know that freedom is by the corner.
God in heaven, Almighty
Share it.
Creator of the ancients of the ancients, the maker of the heavens and the earth. You created everything that the mind of a living soul can imagine, but none created thee. That is why we say you are immortal, you are invisible, you are omnipotent. This very God that every generation who has ever had the grace of knowing thee have always testified to your goodness. That is the same God that we kneel and bow before. This God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help, even in this time of Janjaweed trouble, even in this time of Fulani rage and terrorism. Therefore, we shall fear no evil. This IPOB shall fear no evil. Even if the whole world is against us, even if Britain intensifies their effort to cross this very light of hope in sub-Saharan Africa, even though they shake the mountains, even though the seas may rise, even though they may give all the weapons and ammunition to the zoological republic, no matter what they do, no matter how they foment their rage, it doesn't matter to us. For God, Chipokika Biama, is in the land of Biafra. We shall never ever be moved. This God of the ancients will help us now and forevermore. For Biafra shall come, and this Lord of hosts is with us. Chipokika Biama, the same God of Jacob. This same God of Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego, this God that never abandons his people, this same God is our refuge, and we proclaim it unashamedly that this God that we kneel and bow before, we shall worship thee, for Biafra is your promise, your word is yea and amen. Instead of your word not to come to pass, heaven and earth will cease to exist. Upon this very hope we anchor all our belief that Biafra shall come in our time, and we pray that it come this very year, that your glory may be made manifest in the lives of men, that we may kneel and bow before thee. He said,
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Biafrans, and welcome to the Briggy Space. Today is 20 January 2026. From my location is after 6 p.m. You are highly welcome. Thank you so much for joining this space today. Thank you, our leaders in detention. We are here to continue what you started, and we will not rest until Biafra is restored. Thank you for leading us from the front line. Thank you, our Prime Minister, Oge Nkere. God bless you wherever you are, as you are still pressing button. Thank you, our lobbyist, Mazi Elias, in charge of Washington and Madison LLC. Thank you so much for shaking the foundation of Nigeria and putting them on the flight mode, and they are still flying up till now and they have not landed. Confusion is everywhere. Thank you, our Minister of Information, Okokondem. We love you. God bless you wherever you are. And our BDF, our shield, we say thank you so much for protecting the land of Biafra. We've gathered again, once again, Biafrans. I welcome all of us to Briggy Space, the space that you can only get verified information, not the one that they will open and 3 people will be there in 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, run 24 hours, and then they will shut down. Come to Briggy Space where it matters, where you see talented speakers. I welcome all the speakers and all the listeners. Please kindly share the space as you have joined. We are not going to spend more than 2 hours or highest 2.5 hours. Yeah, it's just to keep on, giving information to Biafrans so that they will know that Biafra is here. So welcome. I can see our minister in the house. Let us appreciate our ministers. I can see the original mama, Minister Mama Betty, the intelligent woman. Welcome. We are happy to see you, to have you in our midst. I have not seen any other one for now. Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you, our sister, Obi Chicago. My sister, you know they sleep. God bless you. God bless you, Obi Chicago. Chai. God bless you. Ata, Ndewo, welcome.
Bless you more.
Benuwa,
Bless you.
welcome. Oh, Ndewo,
Biko ị
Emeje,
na-enye anyị
come do,
na-atụsa ozi.
Pukurowo. Beast, come do. Mazi Elias, come do. Senator,
Ndewo
the
na.
senator, come
Ndewo
do.
na everybody.
No, Ikuku. You know, when I say come do, that is, you should understand that I am from Itayana. An Italian woman, he's hosting the space, so I must greet you with my dialect. Comdo, if I let me speak the real Italian, Ati de Medi, Ade de Rage Amedi, Ade de Samuel Amedi, Ade de CEO is Amedi, Ade de Ebu Amedi, Ade de Holland Amedi, Ade de Echoes
So
Amedi,
grab the mic.
Ade de Sam Amedi, Adede Biafra Freedom Amedi, Adede Onyeju Amedi, we call him main Adede. Ego Igwe Emedi Ekomdo, Sisi Ekomdo, Calamity Adede, Medi O Doris, Doris the Abaikpa. Abaikpa Doris Amedi, Eyo, Dede Chief Omedi, Nwambo Omedi, M-Rock Amedi. You see? Because we need to start to speak this our dialect. Hey, you know, our sister Stella has joined. How do we call him? Ne or Ekam Amedi. Senior citizen Stella Ekam do Amedi Pupro. Good news, Amedi. Abasejo Nkerego. Abasejo Nkerego means God bless everyone. Thank you so much. Yeah. So let us quickly go straight to the topic. As I said, we will not spend more than 2.5 hours. Please, if you are free, kindly identify, so that I can send the co-host to you. Give to Frank. Aljaya Baikpa Amedi. Men of Steel. Adede Amedi. As people will be joining, I will be recognizing them. So, thank you so much and welcome to this space. And I just want us to understand something right from the start. This is not another conversation about suffering. No, you can look at the topic. DC lobbying war. Biafra outsmart Nigeria, and we are winning again, and we will continue to win. So it is not about begging the world to feel sorry for us. No, This conversation is about winning and winning and winning and winning. And we dream to win more with our J and our Ejema. Yes, that is what the space is all about today. So, my speakers and I will try as much as we can to show you exactly how Biafra is winning in Washington, D.C. right now as we speak, while Nigeria is busy spending $9 million and they are still losing their grounds. Biafra will continue to win. So Biafra is not coming, Biafra is here. Yes, and Nigeria, $9 million can't stop what time and truth, have already set in motion. It is rolling. Nobody can stop it. You're already in motion. No one can stop it. We saw exactly what happened a few days ago. I think that was January 19, if I'm not mistaken. And 160 worshippers were abducted from churches in Kaduna State during Sunday morning service. According to the news, that armed bandits with sophisticated weapons, women, children, seniors, they were all taken away. And as I speak to you, 163 of them are still being held in captivity. And when I read, I saw that 9 escaped. The Christian Association of Nigeria has confirmed it. But immediately they confirmed it, that what happened, police came out and said it is a lie. They should prove, there should be evidence. International media has also reported it. So all this thing happening, and Kaduna Police Commissioner called the report false and challenged anyone to list the names of the alleged victim. You see what is happening? That sounds very familiar to all of us that have gathered in this space and those that will listen to this space later. The government denying what everyone can see. This is the reason that they are paying $9 million US for the lobbies that, in fact, they are doing their business. We can't blame them, to come out and lie that there is no genocide in Nigeria, that they are protecting Christians. And we could see a few days after how they are protecting Christians with this kidnap of one of, this is the one that the news have carried. What of those that the news have not carried? They have concealed it. You see? So, okay, Roland, I'll send it to you.
Saying I should bring him up.
So,
go to Twitter.
While those 160 people were being kidnapped in Kaduna, where do you think Nigerian government was focusing their attention? Washington, D.C. To do what?
Everybody should have Twitter.
To fight Griggy. To fight our Mazi
After 30 minutes, I will stop this. And
they just signed that $9 million contract with one of the most expensive lobbying firms in America. $750,000 every month. They've already given deposit 4.5 upfront payment, and the contract will run till June this year, and it can be auto renew if Nigeria want to keep paying. But I wonder how they will keep paying when the lobbies are already messing up. We will come to screwdriver salesman later. So why would the government spend such amount of money in Washington, D.C., while they cannot protect worshippers in church on Sunday morning? And the aim of that payment was to tell the United States of America that Christians are being protected. Why now Christians? Why have they removed Muslims? That is a question mark that they have to answer. So that is what we'll be talking about this night. Biafra is winning this war, my people. And Nigeria knows it very well. You see, this is the reason they are spending a fortune trying to stop what is already in motion, and we will not allow them to do so. We are winning, but we can do more if we support this freedom and support our lobbyists with a J and a Gemma. There's a lobbyist committee. Kylie joined the lobby committee. We had town hall meeting on Sunday, and God touched the heart of Biafrans. They donated. But we have to keep on donating. The list is not ending soon. Go and join the lobbying committee. Throw in whatever you have. You can see now that there is a diplomatic war. The center of this war is in Washington, D.C., where it is the seat of our Prime Minister. AU, it is the seat of our Prime Minister. You see how lucky we are that we have a Prime Minister in the state or in the country where the war is going on, where the diplomatic war is going on. This is the reason why we voted him into power. our Prime Minister Oge Nkere, because they need to see someone who can sign documents when they need signatures, not going to prison, Sokoto prison or Finland prison, or telling the person that is even inviting him for a meeting, oh, wait, so let me travel to Finland, I'm coming back. And they'll ask him, where are you going? He will say, I need to take the document, our Prime Minister is in detention. They'll say, you are not a serious person. So those of you that are fighting this freedom with emotions, please keep it one side. You don't love Simon Ekpa more than us. Yes. But the world have seen that we are very serious. That for us to go to this extent and follow our charter, what is written in our charter, the scale they've given to us is 10, which is the highest scale. Now they know that we are serious to govern ourselves. No sentiment attached to it, no emotions attached to it. We want the best. So we have started now using our charter. In fact, I would say this is the very first time that we have implemented what is in our charter legally. And the world is shocked. Even Nigeria is shocked because it can never happen in their country. This is the reason saboteurs are jumping up and down, scrambling, crying. You see, we have set the pace and it is rolling. Nothing can change it. What we have done is according to our charter that everybody voted. That same charter is what our Prime Minister, the previous one, held it and was dancing because he knows that he has given us something to live on, even when he is not there. You could hear when our Prime Minister said on Sunday, whether he is there or not, if he's not there, move on. Don't expect to get instruction from him wherever he is. Move on. Biafra is bigger than an individual. It is a nation that has been sanctified. And to God be the glory, we have a structure that is keeping us rolling. You see? So I want us to understand. Roland, you've been kicked out. Oh my God. Let me send it again. Yeah. So I want us to understand the battlefield, what lobbying really is, before we start the space properly. So before we talk about who is winning, so let us just quickly explain what this lobbying war actually is, because most people don't understand how power really works in Washington, D.C. And we've had, Roland, say hi before I start. Say good morning to our people.
All right, my madam. My greetings from here. I want to say thank you, and thank you again. Greetings to Biafrans and lovers of freedom, everyone that make their singular time to grace this space. We appreciate because you are spending your time, which we value so much, that you give attention to that which really matter. What matter is nothing but freedom, and freedom you people have cherished, and that we value you. And I want to say thank you for being here. I want to say thank you for the government of BRGIE and all the cabinet that has given us the privilege to stand by as the media, lending out the voice to the public and to the world at large to make known and expose Nigeria of their all atrocity, both in the past and to the present. And we thank you very much, our Oyendu, who did it and started it, and was taken over by our former Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. We want to really say a great thanks to them because their sacrifice has really brought us far this way, and that is why we are stood resilient and focused to have a very great and a very wonderful seat of power that has been able to get a representative of the voice of BRGI in the person of Oge Nkere, our newly elected Prime Minister, of which we are fortunate to have him there. And we want to say thank him for everything that he has been putting in place in line with all that has been laid down. He took it strong and is really working hard on that. When he was carrying the bag up and down and being introduced to voice that really matter in this very powerful world, it was like a joke. before Nigeria eyes and all the saboteur. But right now, we have been able to bring them on board and expose them, making them to run etasketa and forcing them to spend millions in dollars in order to prove what? To prove what which is right, and they can never turn that which is right to be wrong, because every evidences and all that has been laid and verified according to all the agents of the Congress that has visited Nigeria with their eyewitness has brought something on the table for them to know that Nigeria is a fraud. And that we stood, and that we are still fighting, and that we must definitely win. As such, we need to abreast every Biafrans and lovers of freedom continuously until we finally get our recognition and stand again to the utmost end with United States and everyone that stand along with them to fight this monster to their teeth and send them back into exile and to their side where they belong. And so, please, dear friends, one thing you will do is to engage by sharing and support that which the government has actually brought on board. Support them strongly and fight alongside with them with your agent and agent as we engage the space to begin to expose. I want to say thank you, my host, and I appreciate the opportunity. You're all welcome once again. Thank you.
Thank you, my co-host, for your submission and greetings to the house. We welcome our original COS. Welcome, sir. We appreciate your presence. God bless you for joining us. So please, if you are just joining the space, kindly share the space. At least sharing the space is free. So my people, as I said, we just have 2.5 hours to spend. So let's get rolling. Yeah. So the news is no more new, but the effect is still ongoing right now. Nigeria lobbied DCI for $9 million. You know, Nigeria did not just hire people to make phone calls. They were selective in their lobbying firm, and they hired one of the most connected Republican lobbying firm in America. They have built relationship over decades with the congressional staffers as well, even with committee members, the think tanks, even federal agencies. These are the people who write policy memos and who even brief senators for votes, and to some extent shape what information reaches decision makers. And if you compare to Biafra, we hired Washington and Madison, a firm that is run by Obon Mazi Elias, you know, and you cannot compare financially what we have to that of Nigeria, but that is not a problem for us because truth is on our side. We have all the evidence that they need. We are not lying. Our lobbies is not out there lying. So there is no way to exaggerate or overpay just to conceal lies and the blood of people. It will not fly. And the reason why we've gone this far is because we are speaking out there and we are transparent in what we are saying. Evidence-based message is what we are giving out to the senators who have given our Mazi Elias and our Prime Minister listening ears. So that is why we are winning. It's not about the size or the amount of money, no. It is about legitimacy and credibility. Is there anything our lobbyists have told the Congress persons that they've not verified to be true? Now, compared to what the Nigerian lobbyist is telling them, before they even open their mouth and say Jack Robinson, they kill people in Nigeria, they are now screwing all forms of lies just to downgrade our lobbyist. We have seen it in the screwdriver salesman, projecting him that the information that led to the airstrike came from this man. They just want to push aside the work of our lobbyists. But they all want to know that it is the Biafra Republic government lobbyists, Washington and Madison, that created the awareness to get into the ears of President Trump. not the screwdriver salesman. No, we know the game Nigeria is trying to play. So my people, on paper, if you look at it, it looks like David versus Goliath. Nigeria has 10 times our budget and they have bigger connections. But you know what? We are winning them, even at that. But here is what Patrick Smith exposed on his interview with Arise TV that changes everything. We already know who Patrick is, so we'll not go into detail. I'm going to paraphrase what he says in his analysis. He said that security trackers documented over 10,000 people killed in violent attacks in Nigeria last year, even though he gave underestimated numbers, because there are more than that, more than 100,000 people were killed last year by the terrorists. But he said over 10,000. He said that's Ukraine level casualty numbers. That's low level conflict zone statistics. He classified Nigeria as a low level conflict zone. Because what? He's a British. So he's bound to protect Nigeria. So we don't blame him in what he said. And he made it clear that this violence affects everyone. Not just one region, not just one religion. Every Nigerian citizen could be subjected to this violence. Because of time, I cannot play it. You see, that was what he said. But if you look at where it's even getting more interesting, you see that Patrick observation, excuse me, revealed the fundamental problem Nigeria faces in Washington, D.C. You cannot lobby away reality. Nigeria cannot spend $1 million to convince American policymakers that everything is fine. When more than, I'm not going to stick to the 10,000 because over 100,000 people were killed in Nigeria. When more than 100,000 plus are dying every year in Nigeria. So you can't hire the best lobbyists in the world to say we are protecting Christians, which is what is in their contract. When 160 worshippers just got kidnapped during Sunday service, day before yesterday. So this is why Nigeria is actually losing in Washington, D.C., despite spending more money. Their narrative is collapsing under the weight of facts. And Biafra lobbyists, our Mazi Elias, don't need to outspend them. We just need to be, the credible alternative source when American policymakers realize that they are being fed with lies. We have to grab this opportunity. But how do we grab it? My people say, Afiredu Rorewa, a dog poo is the strength of the dog. In the case of our lobbying firm, a Gemma and a J is the strength, is the oxygen that we need to give to them to continue breathing. While Nigeria is there feeding the senators and policymakers with lies, we should be there to feed them with truth. And because they're already seeing us as a credible alternative source for information. They don't believe Nigeria. The more reason Rally Moore had to travel to Nigeria with his team for fact-finding. Even when the lobbyists have received $4.5 million as upfront payment on December 12th. And they signed their contract December 17, 2025. You see? So there is a way lobbying works in practice, because this is very, very important and we have to look at it. Why am I spending time? So that Biafrans that are we're brainwashed that we don't need lobbyists will know the importance of lobbying. Without your lobbyists, you cannot go anywhere. If lobbying was not important, why did Nigerian government, despite making direct contract, Ribadu, to be precise, despite making direct contract with the Secretary of the Department of War, he organized meeting, and of course, Patrick confirmed it, using their diplomatic relations. He has that direct access. Why then did they still go and seek for a lobbying firm if lobbying was not important? Lobbying is very, very important, and they're not going to lobby with saliva. You must pay them. So we need everybody to come back. Join the lobbying team. Our COS is in charge of that team. Follow him in X. Follow, get his Telegram. Follow him if you want to join. He will add you to the group. We need more people
Go
to join
to
that team.
X. Go to X. Twitter.
So now,
The only
when
place.
a congressional staffer needs information about
You
Nigeria,
see the real
they
thing.
have three options. Is either they listen to Nigerian lobbyists, or they listen to our lobbyists, Biafran lobbyists, or they can do their own research. Now you see Nigeria is spending $9 million to make sure they are the first voice in that staffer's ears. But what happens when the staffer turn on the news and see reports about church kidnappings? What happens when human rights organization publish reports contradicting everything Nigerians lobbyists are saying? The staffers start looking for alternative sources. And that is where we come in. That is where Biafra lobbyists step in. Not with propaganda, not with the emotional appeals, please help us, please. No, but with documented facts, verifiable data, and coherent analysis that explains what is really happening in the contraption called Nigeria. So this is what winning in Washington, D.C. looks like. It is not about immediate recognition. It is not about the UN intervening tomorrow. It is about becoming the trusted source of information in a city where information is power. So it's about building institutional knowledge that becomes impossible to erase. Even money cannot erase it. Tears cannot even erase it. Because you can cry from now till tomorrow, tears will not erase it. If tears wanted to help anybody in this world, according to the Bible, tears would have helped Job. But tears cannot help anyone when you are supposed to present facts. Tears will not help you. And how do we present the facts? We need your funding. Nothing, all of these things I'm mentioning is not free. Money is being spent. You see? Because they are there to tell lies, they had to go and carry out what I call the screwdriver salesman scandal. This is the Nigerian first epic fail. This is what happens when you spend millions of dollars on lobbying, but your strategy is built on lies. Because this is the story that is circulating in Washington, D.C. right now, and it is genuinely embarrassing for Nigeria. This is the first thing the lobbying firm could do to bring up propaganda. So that, no, it was not Briggy. No, it is Briggy. Briggy heralded the genocide of Christians in Nigeria. On December 25th, 2025, that was Christmas Day, the United States of America conducted an airstrike in Nigeria. Their Christmas gift. An American military force used on Nigeria territory. We could saw what happened the next day. Nigeria Foreign Minister Yusuf Tuga, he released an official statement explaining what happened. I'm not even looking at what news media released. I'm talking about the foreign minister, Nigeria Foreign Minister Tuga, released by himself. He said the airstrike was the result of structured security cooperation. Structured security cooperation and shared intelligence between Nigeria and the United States. That was what he wrote in summary. There was nothing like a screwdriver salesman. They are doing this so that when you now go, we say, it's not Briggy that is working. It is the Biafra Republic government in exile that gave documented fact and evidence, that raised a war cry that Biafrans are dying, Christians are dying in Nigeria. So that is the official Nigerian government position. And the whole world, they started in Nigeria. Hey, Tinubu ordered the airstrike. Tinubu ordered the airstrike, and Tinubu had to run away and escape, and go into hiding. Since that time, we saw him yesterday. If it is true, or maybe it is an old video. Tinubu had to escape for his life because Muslims were all out for him. So this was a joint operation based on intelligence sharing between allies. But what happened in January 18? New York Times, that was a day before yesterday. New York Times published, and no wonder Trump called them a fake newspaper. And what they released is so shocking that even Nigerians are so ashamed of their own government right now as I speak. The screwdriver salesman behind Trump's airstrike in Nigeria. What? You see, when I read the story, you have to pay some money to get the full gist, because I wanted to really know what is happening. So in summary, this man called Emeka from Onitsha that sells screwdrivers for a living. And somehow this screwdriver salesman became the primary source of information, according to them, that influenced United States military policy on Nigeria. Oh my God. This man claimed that 125,000 Christians had been killed in Nigeria since 2009. And he claimed that 20,000 churches has been destroyed. He cited these numbers in meetings, in presentations, and in advocacy work. You see? And according to New York Times investigation, this information influenced the decision making that led to the Christmas Day airstrike. You see, it is very devastating, because when the New York Times asked this man where he got these numbers from, I know all of you might have heard the story as well. He said, I Googled it. I Googled it. The data that influenced a whole United States military airstrike on Nigerian territory came from a man who Googled it. What are we talking about? Nigeria just spent $9 million to hire DCI Group, one of the most expensive lobbying firms in Washington, D.C., to manage their narrative and protect their image. And the first major story that breaks after they signed this contract, is screwdriver that Googled to give data to, oh my goodness me, an exposure in the New York Times revealing that the US policy on Nigeria has been influenced by unverified Google searches from a screwdriver trader. Oh my God. I want to pass a message to the DCI that this is not what successful lobbying looks like. This is what desperation looks like. You are desperate to do your work so that they will not tell you, oh yeah, give us the refund. Because the first instrumental payment they gave to you, a terrorist were bombed on 25th December while you received your money on 12th December. You couldn't stop it. You couldn't also stop the visit of Raleigh Moore to Benue State for fact-finding, where he came back and said he has never seen such a devastating thing before in his life. He gave testimonies from people, and they also recorded them. They have videos to back up. So it's not something that will be erased from their memories. He said he cannot forget. He can never forget that scene. So the deposit money, the upfront money that they paid these lobbyists couldn't stop this move. Now Nigeria defenders, if you are in this page, you say, but wait, this isn't just DCIA Group fault. They just got hired, and that's partly true. You see, here is what professional lobbyists are supposed to prevent. When you pay $750,000 per month for lobbying, you are not just paying for advocacy, you are paying for crisis management, for crying out loud. You are paying for narrative control. You are paying for people who can, pick up the phone, call journalists, and provide alternative sources before a story like this goes to print. DCI Group couldn't do this. They couldn't stop this story because they are behind the story. They gave approval before this story was published in New York Times. And the story, the worst part is that the story that directly contradicts Nigeria's official narrative. Remember, the foreign affairs minister have already said that this was shared intelligence between allies. But New York Times is reporting that it was influenced by a screwdriver salesman Google searches. Which one is true? Because both cannot be true. This is the contradiction that is now visible to everyone in Washington, D.C. Who should they now rely on for information, verified information? The Biafra Republic government lobbyist. You see? The New York Times didn't just report on this Emeka, Ume Balasio. They also interviewed Bishop Kuka. You know Bishop Kuka? Now, you know he has two mouths. Bishop Kuka said someone should be supporting, someone who should be supporting, I'm quoting him, someone who should be supporting Nigeria's narrative about protecting Christians. He said, I am paraphrasing the sentiment. He said that person should focus on the fact that the Nigeria state is weak and doesn't have the capacity to protect its people. That's the meaning of what Kuka said. That is a Nigerian bishop contradicting Nigeria's government on the record in the New York Times news. Can you see why Nigeria is panicking? Can you see why they are spending millions of dollars? How does a serious country lose its credibility so badly that global policy is shaped by a Google search instead of its official intelligence? Please, I want someone to pick up from there briefly before we continue. I'm really trying to manage time before we go to the next session. So upon all that I've discussed about the screwdriver, salesman, screwdriver salesman, and the battle that is going on in Washington, D.C., please, what do you have to say on this with this little discussion question here? I don't know if anybody is free. How does a serious country lose its credibility so badly, that is, if I thought they were serious, that global policy is shaped by a Google search instead of its official intelligence? My co-host, are you there, or I should continue? Please, anybody is free to pick up the mic and elaborate more on this before we go to the next one. Thank
Okay.
you.
Can you
I
hear
have
me?
to stop it now. Share it to all
Hello,
platforms
Yes,
before we
yes,
restart.
yes.
We will refresh and
Yes,
start.
it's
Okay.
obvious and very, very
Good
vital.
morning. Happy
Something
New
for
Year. I see
Nigeria
you
because,
sharing.
you know,
Sanya
Nigeria
na WhatsApp.
is a
Ordinary
poor
how easy.
representation
Again.
based on,
Sorry, my co-host. Are you using earpod?
You know,
oh, let me,
Your
let me,
voice is not clear.
onye ọbụla share this
okay, so
one.